Hey, welcome back. Sometimes history feels like it's written in permanent ink. The lines are drawn, the sides are clear, the good guys and the bad guys are settled. But every so often, you stumble across a story that smudges all those lines, that reminds you that history is made by people, not just armies. And in the final, chaotic days of the most horrific war the world has ever known, there is perhaps no story that smudges those lines more completely than the one I want to tell you today. I'm Ibnul J. Farabi, and this is Flashpoints, the wars that shaped us. This is Episode 5, the battle for Castle Itter, when Wehrmacht and Americans fought side by side. Let's set the scene. It's May 4th, 1945. In Berlin, Hitler is dead. The German surrender is just days away. The war in Europe is essentially over. But in the Austrian Alps, near a small town called Wurgl, the fighting isn't quite finished. High on a hill sits Castle Itter, a beautiful, medieval-looking fortress that the Nazis had turned into a VIP prison. Its inmates aren't your typical prisoners. They are French dignitaries, former prime ministers, generals, a tennis star, even the sister of General Charles de Gaulle. They are precious political pawns, and now, with the Reich collapsing, they are in incredible danger. The regular SS guards have fled, but fanatical SS units from the surrounding area, refusing to surrender, are closing in to recapture the castle and execute the prisoners. The prisoners are armed, but barely. They are alone, and time is running out. Into this impossible situation comes a man named Kurt Siegfried Schrader. He's a major in the Wehrmacht, the German army, and he's been wounded, recovering at a nearby hospital. He's also, crucially, disgusted by the SS and the Nazi regime. Hearing of the prisoners' plight, he does something unthinkable. He puts on his uniform, goes to the castle, and offers his services to the French prisoners. He becomes their military advisor, their defender. A German officer, now commanding French prisoners against his own countrymen. But they need more than one defector. They need an army. So they send out two desperate messengers. One, a Czech cook, is captured by the SS. The other gets through. He's an Austrian resistance fighter, and he finds his way to the nearest American unit. That unit is led by Captain John C. Jack Lee, Jr., a hard-charging tank commander from the 12th Armored Division. Lee doesn't have orders for this. No one does. It's a chaotic, fluid front. But he understands the stakes immediately. He assembles a tiny relief force, just 14 American soldiers and 2 Sherman tanks. It's laughably small. And as they prepare to head up to the castle, who volunteers to join them? Major Schrader's own driver, a German soldier. And not just any Germans, a handful of Wehrmacht soldiers stationed in Wurgl under the command of a Major Joseph Gangl. Gangl had been secretly working with the Austrian resistance. Now, he and his men openly switch sides. So this rescue column, rolling towards Castle Itter, is already a bizarre sight. American Shermans, with American GIs, riding alongside German soldiers in Wehrmacht uniforms. They reach the castle just in time, reinforcing the prisoners as the first SS probes begin. Captain Lee takes command. He posts his tiny force around the castle walls. And here's the detail that just stops me cold every time I picture it. He integrates the German soldiers under Major Gangl directly into his defensive perimeter. A Wehrmacht soldier is covering a sector right next to an American GI. They are sharing ammunition. They are pointing out terrain to each other. The ultimate enemy, just hours before the end of the war, is now your battle buddy. At dawn on May 5th, the main SS assault begins. About 150 to 200 fanatical troops storm the castle grounds. The battle is fierce in close quarters. The outnumbered defenders are pushed back to the castle keep itself. One of the 2 Sherman tanks, nicknamed Bespin, is destroyed. The situation is desperate. During the fighting, Major Joseph Gangl, the German commander who chose to stand with the Americans, is killed by a sniper while trying to move the former French Prime Minister, Paul Reynaud, to safety. He dies not for the Reich, but for the idea that some lines shouldn't be crossed. He becomes, arguably, the last German soldier to die in combat in Europe during World War II, and he died fighting the SS. But the defenders hold on, just barely. And then, in the early afternoon, a beautiful sound echoes through the valley, the rumble of more American tanks. A larger relief force, having finally gotten word, crashes through the SS lines. The siege is broken. The French prisoners are saved. And on the steps of Castle Itter, you have this surreal, triumphant scene. French dignitaries, American GIs, and Wehrmacht soldiers all celebrating together, while SS prisoners are taken into custody. So what do we do with a story like this? As an engineer, I'm trained to look for the clean, logical solution. History is rarely so kind. This battle wasn't strategically significant. It didn't change the course of the war. But as a storyteller, I'm drawn to it precisely because it defies the clean narrative. It exists in the messy, human cracks of history. For me, sitting here in New York, a world and a lifetime away from those Austrian Alps, the lesson of Castle Itter isn't about the glory of war. It's about the profound power of individual choice in the face of collapsing systems. Major Gangel, Major Schrader, and those German soldiers made a conscious, dangerous choice. They looked at the crumbling ideology they had served. They looked at the fanatics who wanted to murder prisoners out of sheer spite, and they said no more. They redefined their duty in that moment. Their duty wasn't to a flag or a dead cause. It was to basic human decency. And on the American side, Captain Lee didn't hesitate to accept their help. He didn't let dogma get in the way of the mission. In that moment, the uniform mattered less than the man inside it. They built a fleeting, fragile trust based on a shared immediate goal: protect the innocent. That's a powerful thing. It shows us that even in the darkest of times, the categories we create, ally, enemy, friend, foe, can be rewritten by simple, courageous acts. The battle for Castle Itter is a strange and beautiful anomaly, a last, peculiar flashpoint in a war defined by them. It reminds us that history is never just a simple story of us versus them. It's a complex tapestry of millions of individual decisions, and sometimes, in the most unexpected places, those decisions can reveal our shared humanity. Thanks for joining me for this story. If you enjoyed this episode of Flashpoints, please share it with someone who loves history's hidden corners. It really helps the show. And for more deep dives into the wars that shaped our world, make sure you're subscribed wherever you get your podcasts. This is Ibnul J. Farabi for Light Not Studios. Until next time.